And there we have it. We're back with the women's run. It's me, Eddie Dunlop, and Claire Dunlop here, commentating from the UK. But you're joining us with live stream at LAS in Italy, and we had a back-to-back race. This is the second and the final for the ladies. First run today. Yesterday we had Evelyn Lantiner. She celebrated her 5th win of the season in the 5th race. She's been absolutely emphatic. The world champion didn't get an optional run in the upper part of the track, an optimal run I should say, in the upper part of the track. But again, the second intermediate, she pushed herself well into the lead and never looked back from there. With the time 1:03.37, she was 0.36 seconds ahead of her teammate, and home track for Greta Pignetta, the Italian. And good to see the Austrian Tina Unterberger. She was some 0.51 seconds behind. She took 3rd place, but pushed ahead of her teammate to get onto the podium. So again, Lantiner, as I said, absolutely emphatic. 500 points, clear leader, and that is the champion. She can't be touched with the amount of wins that she's got. Unless she doesn't finish today and her teammate on Greta Pignetta, 425. So technically, it's still doable, but barring a DNF, Lantiner should take victory today. Daniela Mitamara, again in the 3rd position overall in the World Cup standings on 310 points. So Lantiner took her 31st victory, and you would have to... if you're a betting person, you wouldn't be betting against her here today. So again, up first on the track, we've got the Serbian, so Jan Milavic. Bit of drift in there as she goes through the bend. We've seen that with the men. If you watch the men going down, the track conditions really suffering for the last certainly 5 sliders, which are the top sliders, and all of them getting pushed back places where you normally see them dominate, and they will be bitterly disappointed. But these conditions now really tricky. And there you've seen it again. She just the deep snow catching her out, and you really have to transfer your weight through onto the ice to make the sled work for you. And she's just getting a little bit trigger happy there and pushing it too hard, and you can see that sled drifting out. She needs to use her body weight and get back over the sled to keep that back end from stepping out the way it is, and that takes confidence and experience, and unfortunately just not going her way at this point in the game, but still on track and sliding reasonably smooth over the finish, and gets down in 1 place for Jan. So up next we have Anastasia, the Ukraine, Slicer. Anastasia on the track for a few seasons now, so should see her hopefully come down and just drive these lines that little bit smoother. So just watching here for her. Nicely out the first one, nice smooth brakes there, and she just exits out of there using all the track, and no complaints there. Easily up on the splits here in this first run for the ladies. Nice use of her body there. You can see just using her body, setting herself up for the corner, and a little bit of a twitch coming out there, but keeps it all on track. Do like that section going down through there. Lots of nice foot steer, a bit like the artificial luge which you see on the bob track. Very, very similar but more aggressive style in natural luge, where you use a lot more of your body and more input. But on those fast parts of the track where the corners aren't so tight, you're able to just... So over and into first position at this stage, 106.54. So I've got my wingman at the moment, so unfortunately Claire today trying to wear two hats, and she's working as well as helping me out in between times. So you've just got the Ghost Rider here, Eddie Dunlop, cruising along. So up next we've got Nina Stanek. Again, Nina Stanek, Serbian slider. Nina again been on the track. Nina trying to do two things at once. 1:11.97 yesterday. So again, Nina looking to better that time. Even in these conditions, she'll be looking to try and shave a few seconds, or at least a second off that time. You can see there the conditions, she just really sort of misty, using the track there, really sliding out, and again needs to do more work on the entry of the track and then get that body weight back to avoid those slides like that. Sliding always means that you're losing time. She'll be disappointed by that. And it's just, especially in these conditions, those small errors can just really chuck the sled out, and then you're really working hard to try and regain that slide and keep things on track. I know I've done enough of them in my time. Again, there you can see a product of those slides. She's tried to, she went in a little bit deep on that corner and just caught the inside, and not the optimum lines for her, but finishes in second position, a 1:11.74. So yeah, it's fairly much a little bit, just that little bit slower, I think, than she was yesterday. So Slovakian up next, and Slovenian, Nusa Subic, and Nusa yesterday done a 1:12.17. Not so bad there. Through again a little bit of work on the entry of the corner, just and got her weight back, so not so much of a slide there, and seemed to keep it all in control. Hugs that corner really tight going through there. You can see the arm almost touching the boards. Quite a small lass, you can see there. She really tiny on the sled, but just using her body weight. You see her head and body using that shoulder along with her feet just to do the steering there. So good technique through that stage of the track. Whoa, goes really out wide there, hits the boards. You see in the exit, that's going to cost her a lot of time. Was in second position, but that could throw her back even further there. So Nusa on a 1:12, so she'll be lucky now to keep that in check. But really, just watching through the slow-mos going into that final stage, she just caught her on the exit and she hit the board. So I've kept it all in check. Yeah, 1:12.14. So actually 0.03 of a second better, but yeah, she could have been so much quicker if she hadn't that big hit on the way out. So we should have France up next. We should have Maria Roach, or she maybe go under the name of Charlotte. Again, not having had the opportunity to get out onto the circuit this year, so you know the advantage of that is you get to meet the athletes, especially ones that are new to the circuit and maybe I haven't seen before. So pick up what they like to be called, and hopefully some inside gossip. Good high arm there in the way, and you see her really using that rein to good effect. And it's not necessarily about brute strength in this sport. It's technique, and nice high technique there. It means you can use your body weight to actually lift the kuffon up off the ice, which you need to do. Again, one of the major problems people have with sleds, especially when they're new to it, is the leg needs to be out of the way, and the top of your leg tends to get trapped on the sled, and then you're pulling against the weight of your legs. So really, really difficult to do actually when you're laid down on a sled, is to get your leg up and then pull that cuff on up. But if you get all that right, the rest of it is relatively easy. I can say that with mild confidence. So over the line in a 108.57. So just looking down through the French, yeah, she had a 107.64, so I think an improvement there for the French slider. Yeah. So up next, we've got Victoria. So Nina Nemec seems to be out. So Victoria, Ukraine slider. Again, there seems to be a technique for Ukraine. So we have a crossed arm braking technique, but like I said before, whatever works for you. So let's see where Vicky is. Victoria, 111.69 she put out in the last World Cup on this track. Uses that crossed arms again, but has her hand in the right position. The key thing there is that you've got your hand on the right rein. Certainly when I'm teaching beginners, sometimes they have a complete brain fuddle and get that, you pull the wrong rein, and that's just catastrophic, send you in the wrong direction. So really important you get your hands in the right position, get into these corners. Really difficult to see on track, but the speeds these guys can get up to, you know, over 100 kilometers in some areas, and you know, that's pretty fast, and you don't have a lot of time, so you need to be set up before you get to the corner. Regardless of how good you are, it's really, really important. Lines and setup. So 109.83 there for Victoria, and an improvement on her previous time. So she'll be pleased with that. Yeah, expecting to see Russian up, Alexandra Saronova. Alexandra, the Russian, just having a quick look down through to see if I can find her for times. Alexandra, 106 she done in the previous race here, using all the track. You can see they're going right out, but nicely tucked in, using those straights, trying to get as much speed. Third position on the split at this stage, so losing a little bit of time there, but looking very comfortable, just watching that sled to see how it's reacting with these snow conditions. I have to say that potentially the track getting that little bit warmer, the ice just isn't reacting the way they would like it, which is why between that and snowfalls, the top guys and the men really suffered, and this track slowing down, and the conditions getting that little bit less predictable, I think, is the key thing, which is going to be really interesting for the second run for all of these sliders, females and males. And of course, we've got the doubles coming last, and as the temperatures get warmer and the track's been cut up that little bit more with everybody going down, the doubles are going to have their work cut out. Second position though, 107.53 there for the Russian. Austrian Vanessa Mart we should see up next. If everything's running to order, there we go. And Vanessa done a 107.59, so in one of her previous runs on this track. So let's see what Vanessa can do this time. Really hear there, and then my you can hear the sled really cutting in. Second position in the first split for Vanessa. She's be looking to put in a better performance than what she done in the first one, 107.59. Will the track allow her to get more speed though? Just watching down through, uses all the track and some right out there, which is good. You can see that snow still coming down. The old track workers are going to have to really pay attention here and get out. You can see them there just straight onto the track and trying to get that racing line nice and free of snow so that these guys have got the best opportunity. And again, it's that consistency to try and give a consistent. You can see the ice really working off the back of the sled there. Nicely done, though, all the way through. Nice consistency, keeps that body weight nice and back over the sled to keep herself on track, and no major slides there for her. Second position, looks up 107. Not a big improvement on what she's done before, but second position, yeah, at this stage, 32. Slightly quicker than yesterday by a few tenths, but... up next then, it looks like Daria, yeah. Daria, yesterday, 106.64. I know there's more in the locker for Daria Maleva from Russia. Been on the circuit quite a few years, so, you know, will have slid this track before. Again, the Russians favour this track as like a home track, especially for their doubles sitters. And no doubt that she knows this track fairly well, so... Only fourth position though, and the second split, joined now in the commentary, my wingman, young Claire.
Yeah, how's the racing been going? Is the track still the same?
Track is a little bit tricky. We've seen a few slides from some of the earlier sliders coming down, so the conditions obviously a little bit more challenging than what they've seen yesterday. So the females, of course, first time on the track this morning, so they are taking in these conditions as they come.
Yeah, it's interesting actually that they managed to get us back on track as soon as they did. So I thought I might have been able to join you at the start, Eddie. Sorry to have left you on your own, but back with you to enjoy the action. As we said, yesterday was brilliant racing, and again we've seen some upsets. So stick with us. I think it's going to be a good day of sliding. So Daria there got herself into third position at 107.38.
Yeah, she'd be disappointed with that. That's a lot slower than yesterday. She had 106.64. So yeah, Daria. Over half a second off where she was yesterday. But I think that's mainly down to the conditions, not necessarily her ability or something she's done wrong.
Yeah, so Michaela from Germany up next. She did a 107.29 yesterday. So if you just joined us, I think Eddie might have said that yesterday we saw a shootout race, which was unusual on the same track.
It's pretty cool though.
Really good and really exciting. And today we see the normal setup that you would normally see on a luge race, which is the back-to-back racing on the same day for 2 runs for the men, 2 runs for the females, and 2 for the doubles. And the second run obviously gives you a combined time, which is what we didn't see yesterday.
No, and I think that extra pressure on some of the sliders we seen yesterday, because we had a few, well, I don't know, upset's the right word, but from sort of second to fourth positions and so forth, it was that maybe that pressure just telling. But interesting run here, because up on the third split was dragging all the way down, but the third split she puts herself into first position. So good.
106.54. Yeah, as I said yesterday, she did a 107.29. Yeah,
so good slide there, especially as we said, these conditions aren't really playing to everyone's strengths, but yeah, good from the German there, Ms. Nimitz. She pulls out all the stops.
Yeah, next from Poland, Paulina Lipicki. Sorry, I've just been doing something else.
Long as it ends in the sky ski, we're there.
She did a 1.1248 yesterday on track. So good to have the Polish starters. Not as many, I don't think, this year as we normally see.
Not as many men. Certainly the females are there, but not as many men. You're right, Claire. And a little bit upright in the corners here from the Polish slider, Paulina. She... in these conditions, you'll see a few slides if she just doesn't keep the air, and you've just seen it. She just that back end come round too quick for her, which jets her out of the corner that little bit too soon, and that'll affect her forward speed. So a little bit of work to do here.
We have to give a big shout out to probably our top fan, Michelle Jude, sat with Lily. Lily's loving it. Lily is our next contender for the luge. Yeah,
no. Michelle sent us a video yesterday of she was doing some luge in the UK because we've got snow, and it was pretty lame-o. I want to see head first today and a big run.
And we see Lily watching. So Lily, you're up for the GBR. We've got you signed up already. Don't worry.
But have you seen the mess she's made of that table?
So there we go. Paulina coming down with a 1.1229, putting herself in 10th position.
Yeah, for you they don't see, we just had a photograph through of Lily. Lily must be, she even the length of one. Must be coming up on one, and she's sitting at her little table, covered in food and watching Luge. So good start from young. That's what we like.
So it was like you when you're eating. Up next, Patricia Urbank, sorry. Patricia did a 110.31. We spoke about Patricia yesterday. She
flying the flag for Patricia.
Yeah, and one that we've watched actually from the start come up. I can remember her early on coming on to the scene. She really has, improved, and looking at her technique, etc., going down. So
jolly character, and it's always a smile on her face. Good to see. Oh, runs it really out wide to the boards there, and you could see that nervousness come in. She almost tried to break, but that's futile when you're in those positions. You just got to keep the steering on and take the little hit. So again, she runs those boards out, but that means she's trying hard, which is good to see. But don't do that to me. My heart there, Patricia, is going up. But just keep steering. Don't take your eye off the ball. You can see the feet going down. Don't do that to me, because that's
again. But she kept it on, and you always say that.
Yeah,
you always
keep it on.
Don't give up is the expression.
So 110.51 for her.
Yeah, in 8th position there. It wasn't far off. She did a 110.31. So even with the little
today, she's just trying hard, and you can't fault her for that. You know what I mean? You can see in her face a little bit disappointed. She probably was trying harder, but sometimes smoother is better.
Next up, then Claudia Promeny from Poland. Claudia, I'm just trying to find her from yesterday.
I'll let you do that, Claire.
I know. Let me look while you keep talking.
Okay, I keep an eye on the screen so I don't miss any of the action here. And of course, with these conditions, you can't take your eye off the ball at all.
Yes, so Claudia, she did a 109.42 yesterday.
Nicely done there. She came out that corner really well, and you can see there just using her body, like that body shape, just getting herself set up for the corner. Really super quick through there. Nicely done again. So only 7th position, but certainly her technique and looking on track is good. Love that high five. Done the same back to her. Turned in a little bit quick there, but using her body again just to steer on. So good, looking good at this stage. Hand on the ice, that'll be cold, but good technique. Nicely. She's actually sliding with a lot of confidence. You can see that. So it maybe isn't translating just yet into times, but love her confidence on a sled. And,
did she come up from the juniors? I seem to recall her being in the juniors, but maybe not.
More than likely, Claire, more than likely. I say it would have been nice if we could have got out this year. I would have been able to spend some time in the juniors. Not something I've done, so it'd be really good. Hopefully next year if I can get out and spend some time with the juniors.
Should be pleased with that. Eddie putting herself in 7th position with 108.95, so better in a time from yesterday.
Her technique, she looks super smooth down there, and like I said in the previous run, trying hard, smoothness equals quickness, not necessarily trying hard. So. Yeah. A good masterclass, as we say.
So Julia up next. She did a 107.79.
Yeah, Julia Poland.
Really hear that sled biting into the ice there.
15th slider on track for the ladies. 3rd position in the first split. Julia. Wow, I love that camera angle, that low camera angle. You can see her there again, just starting to use that body and that arm extending to get her out of the corner nice and flat. She'll do the same again here. That's it, just pushing back.
They're really helping you today, Eddie. They slow
well, that's
and they zooming in on them to show you technique.
Yeah, I like it, really do. I'm on my chair here, almost sliding with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement going on here, moving around.
Yeah, and probably the only commentator needs to take painkillers just to do commentating. So, a little wee bit too much work there, but you can see the sled just working through that ice, just catching and breaking away, and then catching again. But good slow mo, good pictures coming through. 3rd, Claire.
Yeah, with a 106.77. So again, she bettered her time from yesterday.
And a big wave to the camera. We love that.
I think she'll be pleased with it, especially within the conditions that we find ourselves in today.
So looks like an Austrian slider up next, so it should be Ricardo Roots, is it? We said yesterday the name Ricardo gives you a second, and she did. She put in a really quick time yesterday.
Oh, she did pretty well yesterday. Ricardo did a 104.70.
Yeah, what did she finish?
She came fifth yesterday. Fifth yesterday. Yeah, did really well. She slid early on and then retained her position, kept herself up, and look, they're already in the first split. She remains in first position.
Oh man, she's smashing this. She's up 4-4, so nearly half a second in the first split. That's just absolutely out of the park stuff. Wow, look at that, really using the track and some, and you can see the confidence there. She's just using her body to keep her tight, because that's the quickest way through that combination. Nearly up a second on the second split, 0.98, so real smoking stuff here. The conditions we know are that bit slower, but certainly no one's told Ricardo. That name is just giving her that extra second. Third split up 1.17,
so
comfortable
close.
lead here at this stage at 105.
105.32. That's her comfortably at the moment, obviously in the lead, but still quite a few to go.
But yesterday she done a 107.59, didn't she, Claire? So
she did a 104.70.
I'm reading the wrong line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So slower, but that's down to the track. Certainly not her ability.
So up next then, Katerina. Katerina has come back after obviously we didn't have the Russians on track for the first few races. She's put herself on the podium on one of the races.
She did, yeah. I haven't got it in front of me, but it must have been not Winterleiten, Pizzaia.
Katerina is always a class act. She's definitely, as I said, brought it back into the mix. She did a 104.81 yesterday.
Yeah, for a split second, just lagging by nearly 0.3 of a second. So see if she can make up some more time. Split, can't really see it, still second. I think she's still out by just almost 0.2 again. Again, her picture's coming through here a little bit fuzzy. Honest, I'm not on the beer at this time in the morning.
So, they're second at the third split.
Real nice style, actually. You just see her body react to the bumps going through there in the slow-mo, just almost floats over those bumps.
In first position there, she puts herself with a 105.17.
Yeah, keeps her cool and keeps it all together, and does what she does best, and pushes into first position. But by her standards, yesterday we had Evelyn push into a 103.37. Now we know the track's a bit slower today, but
so Sarah Schiller up next.
The top guys ladies I should say, still pushing to the 103s.
So first of the three German sliders in a row that we have. So Sarah yesterday did a 106.63. 9 sliders to go with her as well. So really getting into the top end now, although Katerina did put in a good time there for the condition of the track today. Although some people have gone faster, but these top sliders we saw from the men's race actually didn't better their times. So that's the same thing.
Sarah Schiller, second of our German sliders, but she's really pushing out, using all the track again. You see her there just using that hand to extend, but 6th position at the moment.
Yeah.
But certainly looking at her technique and her confidence on a sled, I would say it's not going to be too long before
it's come through. I think our connection just said lost. We still
we can hear getting over the line, so at least we get to see the finish.
6th position with a 106.97.
Yeah. So we've got a gaggle of Germans coming up now with Lisa Walsh and Sarah Bachman following up next. So it's a German shootout almost.
Lisa Walsh was 104.95 yesterday.
Yeah, Lisa, really blistering junior. She's the World Cup junior champion. So really pushing to be high on results this year, having slid really well in the juniors. She really dominated the junior field. So watch the space in the next couple of years with Lisa. She'll certainly be pushing in amongst the top 5. Wow, see that, man. She's just low and really using her body weight there to just hug that corner to get as much of that corner speed. its sport is all in the corners and that exit speed, and you could see her there just trying to extend that body. But
yeah, Lisa found herself in 10th position yesterday.
Yeah, it's just give her another couple of years, and without a doubt, you're going to see this lass up in the top 5.
3rd position at the 3rd split.
Yeah, she's just shooting outside, half a second outside the front runner at the moment. It's Katarina is leading the Russian, and certainly finishing behind Katarina is no disgrace by any means.
So 105.52 putting her in 3rd place at the moment with 8, I believe, sliders to go.
Not done the mass here. I know we've got Sarah Bachman up next. You're doing the
7 today.
7, so firmly into the top 10 now. So let's see. We've seen a bit of a shocker from the men where the conditions we certainly the top 3, 4 sliders. So we don't have the same here with the ladies, but so far the ladies really react to the changing conditions here and sliding really well. It's well done there by Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah was also in the 104s yesterday, 104.82.
I love that camera. It always looks like they're going to go out and hit boards there, but keeps it all in check. Just puts that hand on the ice and that's cold. Wow, but look at that, right out. Just confidence, isn't it? And, didn't lose faith at all in her ability. She just kept that same steer on, which gives you forward motion. So she's joint number 1 at the moment with Katarina. So can't you keep that all the way to the finish? That looks a good exit there. So she tucks in tight, keeps that body all tight. 0.23 drop there. So where's that cost her? Looking at that corner there, she looked okay. So can't she make any time up? She's tucking everything in, trying to make up as much time as she can.
3rd position, 105.33.
Yeah, she's not sure. Something off camera we haven't seen that's cost her that time. We know this track, it's all about that very fast finish, so you need to get the exits right out of the combination. So
up next then, Nadine Staffler. We have all Italians and Austrians coming your way for the last few.
Girls Aloud singer, as I said yesterday.
So Nadine did a 104.39. She's gone to beat for a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, that's confident. She a little bit exit there. She was steering into a little bit tight. She just let it run, and speed really well done. Reacting to the conditions, up by 500ths in the first split. So all working for her at this point in the game. Said there, we see yesterday she was fairly fast, so expecting to see Nadine slide into first position.
Yeah,
so
Katarina to beat with a 105.17.
Yeah. Ooh, what's going wrong there, Claire? 900ths behind, which pushes her all the way back to first position. So she's got work to do here. She's going to throw her way back up onto the podium contention. 4 still in the 3rd split. Luge is out. It looks like 4/10 now. So that momentum lost at the top of the track, and she's carried that all the way down. So not the run she'll have wanted.
Oh, in first? No way, with a 105.00. Wow.
I'm sure that the telemetry here are playing tricks on me and doing that for badness, because 4th position back into first. Where did she find that from? She must have like a turbocharger fitted to that sled or something, supercharged. But yeah, good slide there. Good slide for that.
And up next there, Michelle Deepole to the last 5 female sliders coming down the track now. Michelle did a 75.
She was leading. She's now slid, I think, 10 points later, just on the screen. So really close between both Austrian sliders. Tina haven't been the dominant, female in the Austrian squad. The young pretender here, I'm going to call her Michelle, really, really lovely lass, and but in the back of her head, she's a racer. She'll be wanting to beat her teammate, and it couldn't be closer this year. Up in the first split by a 10th, second split, 3/10, maybe 4/10 up on the 4th split. So really, really come out today with a real good slide. Any issues she had yesterday, she's trying to put to bed and show that she is world class. capable of standing on the podium, and she's really pulling out stops here. Up 0.6 on the third split, so good slide here by Michelle Depot all the way over the line. Look at her tuck in, just uses that head again to try and get that extra tenths going across the line, and goes in.
Second, 105.01.
How can you lose over half a second in that? I don't understand. There must be something wrong with the timing.
No, the timing's good. It's just mixing it up. It's mixing it up. Tina Enterberger up next. She did a 103.88 yesterday, so we'd expect to see she did a good run. She's out on social media yesterday.
There's something wrong with this. I do not understand that. That is unless mistake off camera that we didn't see, but usually body language would tell you that over the line. I didn't see any of that. Now, if you can believe the telemetry, up 0.36 at the first split for our young Austrian Tina Unterberger.
It's not be a doubter.
Translated. So, second split, Tina always looks super smooth out there.
Yeah, she was super pleased yesterday.
Up a second?
Yeah, she said she was feeling good.
She was feeling good in the second split. So, whatever issue she had with her sled early on in the season, she seems to have addressed. So, has obviously worked hard in the downtime. Up the third split, 1.38. But anything we know can happen over this finish line. It's almost a lottery when it comes to time. So, let's see where she's retained it. Certainly, fingers crossed, the timing tells me she has.
104.01.
Yeah, 104. Now, we'd expect to see she did a 1. Down to track, has to be down to track. Has she done enough to be certainly on a podium contention? She's clapped her hands. I think she, in her mind, she couldn't have done any better than what she's done. So, Daniela.
Daniela Mittermeier. So, Daniela did a 104.75. Obviously, those times at the moment I don't think matter because they're still mixing it up.
Yeah, this track stays slower with these conditions. It really is how you react to these conditions. It's track the top side of the do better than anyone else. So
my
fourth
Lord.
in the first year, again, we have to believe the timing. I think it's playing tricks on me today, but let's see what she can do, build momentum down through this track. So Daniela, very, very young. Slider just up from the juniors, and maybe just doesn't have the experience of Tina Unterberger for still at this stage of the game to be able to react. But like any slider, she'll learn from this and be working out how she can get better next time she meets tricky conditions like this. Fifth position, the telemetry is telling us nearly a second off Tina's time, but it just shows you how well Tina reacted to these conditions, and certainly no set up problems for her today.
Yeah, well, with 2 sliders to go, that puts Tina onto the podium. So 105.26.
Podium, but with 1 run to go. So,
yeah, of course. Podium at the moment on the first run.
Yeah, correct.
It's all to play for in the second run, quite clearly.
Home track here for Greta Pinata. She always looks very focused at the start, and she really sets herself up for these. Her and her teammate Evelyn Lanson are real good friends, and all these girls actually.
So those 2 you just mentioned are the only 2 in the 103 yesterday.
Tina slipped in there. But Tina today only managing a 104, but he's second quicker than anybody else. What did Greta do? And she reacts straight away with up in the first split, well, only by 100th of a second. So it just shows you how good Tina was out of the box. Second split, of course, this is a home track for Greta, so she'll be looking to make her mark here. Wow, second split, lags by almost 2 tenths. So it just shows you Tina had a blistering run. Tina will be watching this clock, and I know her toes will be dancing because she'll be really trying to finish this season on a high, and still that 2 tenths behind.
However, you never know.
Who knows? It can be made up, and we know it in this track. We've seen half a second made up in the last sector, so anything's possible on this track.
No
second, but only just that 2 tenths. She didn't. Has managed to stay behind Tina Unterberger, and you can see disappointment, but with another run to go, anything's possible in this track.
So our last slider then.
What can you say about Evelyn? What can you say? She is beyond beaten and just absolutely dominates on this track. And again, like Tina, she's tired. So you could say she hasn't got an advantage over any sort of get speed. Almost look at the sled there. She's tripped the sled a little bit. Say that cost time, which she has. She's third position, only by 200s behind. Almost looked like the sled there. She just turned that little bit tight, and I wouldn't say it to her face. She fell off. Much smoother there. So let's see if that translated on speed on track. Looking for the second split. Has she gained back any time?
One place.
Pulled back a place, but she's still lagging, but almost 2/10. So wow, it's going to go down to the second run. Third split. Looking now to see that momentum. She's able to make up. She's able to make up at least another 10th going into the third, and she does. She does. 600ths of a second now, lagging in second place. But is that momentum going to go put her into first place, or is Tina Unterberger? Tina Unterberger holds it. Wow. Tina will be excited.
104.05.
Wow, that's the first time we've seen Evelyn pushed back a place. So this is going to make for an exciting second run. A little smile there. She knows she's still in touch, and no pressure on her really. But yeah, it'd be good to see the second run here.
Yeah, there you go. Punch of the fist there with them all. The top three is, as Eddie said before, all really good friends. Have obviously been racing together for some time now, and great competitors. And as you'll see there, your top. So Tina, as we've said, followed by Evelyn, then Greta, then Nadine, and then Michelle. So and Katarina,
400ths of a second at the top.
There, so, six. So yeah, really close. So the second run will be
less than 3/10 between the top three. So it'll be an explosive and really exciting to watch the second race. Of course, second race for women, 11:30 Central European time. But the next up, we have the final run of the men at 10:45. It's 10:45 Central European time. So take the hour off for UK.
Yeah, which actually means it should be in minutes few. So we'll see how quickly that comes up. That's actually in 4 minutes time.
Yeah, it seems ambitious. So, but stay poised. I don't even think I've got enough time to put the kettle on, but I'll try and get my computer screens reset for the next one. So join us back here in a few minutes.